Now at stage 4, paragraph page 218. 218. Okay, and our last headword was reach, the newer type
Great.
of lesson.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start with our revision. Ready?
Mhm. Yep.
Here you go. Which is the broadest street in your town? Which is the broadest street in your town?
The broadest street in my town is ABC Street.
Very good. Okay, who is the richest person you know? Who is the richest person you know?
The richest person I know is Bill Gates.
Very good. Name me one of the poorest countries in the world. Name me one of the poorest countries in the world, please. One of the
The
poorest countries
one poorest country
in the
is
world is
in the world is ABC country.
very good. Okay, but if you say one of the next countries, it's plural, okay?
Okay,
Okay,
one of
next.
the countries.
Do you like reading war stories? Do you like reading war stories? Yes or no?
Yes, I like reading war stories.
Do parents in your country read bedtime stories to their children? Do parents in your country read bedtime stories to their children? Yes or no?
No, no,
Parents in my
parents in my
country
country
don't
don't
read bedtime stories
read time
to their
stories
children.
to their children.
Very good. Can you express a very simple idea quite well in English? Can you express a very simple idea quite well in English? Yes, I can
Yes,
express a very
yes,
simple idea
a simple
quite well
idea
in English.
in English.
Do you think it's easier to express your thoughts in writing or in speaking? Do you think it's easier to express your thoughts in writing or in speaking? I think it's
I think
easier
it's
to
easier
express my
to
thoughts
express my thoughts in
in
writing than speaking.
speaking. Very good. What's the past of speak? What's the past of speak? The past of
The
speak is spoke.
speak is
Very good. Which language did we speak during the last lesson? Which language did we speak during the last lesson? We spoke
the
English
language. Oh, we spoke English
during the last lesson.
during the last
Yeah,
lesson.
but your sentence is also correct. The language we spoke. Okay. Next. What's
Okay.
the past of come? What's the past of come? The past of
The
come is
time
came.
came.
Very good. Okay. What time did you come here last lesson? What time did you come here last lesson?
I
I
came
came.
here at 7 o'clock last lesson.
Very good. What's the past of break? What's the past of break? The past of break
After
is broke.
break is the
Very good.
past of break is broke.
Very good. Well, you have another meaning for break? No, no. Okay, next. Did you ever break an arm or a leg when you were a little child? Did you ever break an arm or a leg when you were a little child? Yes or no?
No, I never
Broke
broke
an
my
arm or a
arm
leg
or leg
when I
in
was
my
a little child.
when I was
A
little
little
child.
child, or when in my childhood is also correct. Next. What did you wear yesterday? What did you wear yesterday? I wore
I wore a shirt
yesterday.
yesterday.
Very good. Did I write anything on this piece of paper last lesson? Did I write anything on this piece of paper last lesson? Yes or no?
No, you didn't write anything on
On
the
that piece of
piece of
paper
paper.
last lesson.
What
What time did you get up this morning? What time did you get up this morning? I got up at
I get up at 6:50 this
this morning.
morning.
Oh, just recently. Okay.
Yes,
Did we stand up after the last lesson? Did we stand up after the last lesson? Yes, we
yes,
stood up
we stood
after the
up
last lesson.
after
Did the sun shine last week? Did the sun shine last week? Yes or no?
the sun. The
No.
sun.
Shone last week.
Yes, the sun shone last week.
Reggie, did you take any photographs on your last holiday? Did you take any photographs on your last holiday? Yes or no?
Yes, I took some photos
Photograph
at
on my last holiday.
during on my last
Holiday.
holiday.
Very good. Did you tell me your name? Did you tell me your name? Yes, I told you
Yes,
my
I
name.
told you my name.
Did anybody in your family drive a car last year? Did anybody in your family drive a car last year? Yes or no?
Yes, yes,
Somebody in
somebody
my
in my
family drove a
family car.
car last year. Did you remember all the new words last lesson from the lesson before that? Did you remember all the new words last lesson from the lesson before that? No, I
No,
didn't
I
remember
don't
all the new
remember the
words
part
last lesson from the
lesson.
lesson before that.
Last lesson from the last lesson before.
One more?
Last
No,
lesson from the lesson.
before that.
No, remember
All
all
the new
new
words last lesson
lesson
from the lesson
from
before that.
the lesson before that.
Some I remembered
I
and
remember
some I
and
forgot.
I forgot.
Very good. What did you see in this classroom last lesson? What did you see in this classroom last lesson? I saw some books,
Took some books,
some chairs,
some
a
chairs,
table,
some
a window,
table, a window,
some pictures,
some
etc.
chairs,
in that
etc.
classroom last lesson.
From last lesson.
Where did you sit during the last lesson? Where did you sit during the last lesson? I sat
I sat in a chair in
du-
the last lesson.
during the last
During
lesson. Very good. What did you eat for your lunch yesterday? Oh, this is interesting. What did you eat for your lunch yesterday? I ate some
I ate some fried chickens and rice
for my lunch yesterday.
for my lunch yesterday.
No bread. You don't eat bread for lunch. Very good. Okay. Did I give you a dictation last month? Did I give you a dictation last month? Yes, you
Yes,
gave
they
me a
gave
dictation last
you
month.
gave me you gave me a dictation last month.
When did last season begin? When did last season begin? Last season
The last
began
season
on the month of
began on
the month
huh?
of
The month of June.
June. One more. Last season began
Last
on the
season
month of
began
June.
in the month of June.
Very good. What did you drink with your breakfast this morning? What did you drink with your breakfast this morning? I drank some
I drank some coffee
with my breakfast
with my
this morning.
breakfast this morning.
How long did you sleep last night? How long did you sleep last night? I slept about
About 6 hours.
last night. Very good. Are there any hills around your city? Are there any hills around your city? Yes or no?
No,
There
there are
aren't
any
any
here
hills
in my
around my
city.
city. Very good. Do people generally laugh when they're happy or unhappy? Do people generally laugh when they're happy or unhappy? People
Uh,
generally laugh
People particularly
when they're
love when
happy.
they
Do you laugh when you watch comedies? Do you laugh when you watch comedies? Yes, I
yeah,
laugh when I
when
watch comedies.
somebody
Very good. What's the opposite of the word friend? What's the opposite of the word friend? The opposite
the
of the
opposite
word
word of
friend.
enemy.
Very good. Were Britain and America enemies during the Second World War? Were Britain and America enemies during the Second World War? No. Britain
No,
and America
Britain,
weren't
America
enemies
are
during the
enemies
Second World
during
War.
the Second World
They were
War.
friends.
Are friends.
Wait, are there any old castles in your city? Are there any old castles in your city? Yes or no?
No,
There
no, there
aren't
are very old
old castles in
capital
my
in
city.
this city, in my city.
Very good. Are you hungry at the moment? Are you hungry at the moment? Yes or no?
No, I'm
I-
not hungry at the moment.
Are there a lot of hungry people in some parts of the world today? Are there a lot of hungry people in some parts of the world today? Yes, there
Yes,
are a lot of hungry
people,
people
hungry
in
people
some parts of the
in
world
some
today.
parts of the world today.
Does your stomach make noises when you're hungry? Does your stomach make noises when you're hungry? Yes, my
Yes,
stomach
my
makes
stomach
noises when I'm
makes
hungry.
me hungry.
Very good. Tell me a geographical fact. Tell me a geographical fact, please. Mount Everest is the
Mount
highest
Everest is
mountain
the
in the
highest
world.
mountain in the world.
Tell me a historical fact. Tell me a historical fact, please. The Second World War
The
began in
war
1939.
began World War
Began
19 began
in,
1939.
very good. One more. The Second World War began
World
in
War began
1939.
in 1939.
Tell me a mathematical fact. Tell me a mathematical fact, please. 2 plus 2 equals 4.
Plus 2 equals 4.
Right? When you get hungry, what do you do? When you get hungry, what do you do? When I get hungry, I eat.
When I get hungry, I eat.
Very good. Do you think your English is getting better? Do you think your English is getting better? Yes, I think my English is getting
English
better.
is getting better.
Very good. About how much does a doctor get a month? About how much does a doctor get a month? A doctor gets about
A doctor gets about 1 million
yen
yen
a
a
month.
month.
Very good. Do you get any cards from your friends on your birthday? Do you get any cards from your friends on your birthday? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
don't
don't
get
get
any
any
cards
cards
from
from
my
friends
friends on my
on my
birthday.
birthday.
Can I get clothes from a bookshop? Can I get clothes from a bookshop? No, you
No,
can't
you
get
can't
clothes from a
get
bookshop.
any. No, you can't get clothes from the bookshop.
Very good. Which animal do we get milk from? Which animal do we get milk from? We get milk from a
Get milk
cow.
from a cow.
Will you go and get a pen for me from the next room? Will you go and get a pen for me for the next room, please? Yes, I'll
Yes,
go
I will
and
get
get
a
a
pen.
pen.
Oh, I'll go to.
Yes,
I
I'll
go.
go and get a pen
Yes, I go and get a
for
pen
you
from
from the next room.
the next room.
Very good. When children are young, do their parents get them from school each day? When children are young, do their parents get them from school each day? Yes, when
Yes,
children are
parents.
young,
When children are
their
young,
parents get them
their
from
parents
school
get
each
them
day.
from school each day.
Will you get that book from the table and give it to me? Will you get that book from the table and give it to me, please? Yes, I'll get
Yes,
that book
I'll get
from the
the
table
book from
and
the
give it to
table.
you.
Give it to you.
Very good. What time do you generally get to school for your lessons? What time do you generally get to school for your lessons? I generally get
I
to school
generally get
at 7
at
a.m. for my
7 a.m.
lesson.
for my lesson.
Very good. What time do you generally get home at the end of the day? What time do you generally get home at the end of the day? I generally get
I
home at
generally get
about
home at about 8 o'clock
at the end of the
for
day.
the end of the day.
Right, what are the general meanings of the verb get? What are the general meanings of the verb get? The general meanings.
Meaning of
The
get is
verb are become and obtain.
the word of become and tame.
Very one more. The general meanings of the verb
General
get
meaning
are
of get,
become and obtain.
become and obtain.
Very good. If you are not sure when to use get, what is it better to do? If you are not sure when to use get, what's it better to do? If I'm not sure
If I'm
when
not
to
sure
use get, it's
when
better
to use
to
it, it's
use the
better
other
to use
verbs with the same meaning. The other
to use the
verbs
to use other
with the
verbs
same
with the
meaning.
same meaning.
Very good. And that's the end of our revision. Let's have numeric.
Okay,
Okay. Repeat. There was.
there was,
There were.
there were.
Very good. Okay, listen. There was and there were are the past tense of there is and there are. For example, there was a picture on the wall yesterday. There were some pictures on the wall yesterday. Okay, let's practice. Is there a picture on that wall? Is there a picture on that wall? Yes, there's a
Yes,
picture on that wall.
there were.
Was there a picture on that wall 3 lessons ago? Was there a picture on that wall 3 lessons ago? Yes, there
Yes,
was
there
a
was a
picture
picture
on
on
that
the
wall
wall.
3 lessons ago.
Listen.
Very good. Were there any books on the table last lesson? Were there any books on the table last lesson? Yes, there
Yes,
were
there
some
was
books
some
on the
books
table
on the
last
table.
lesson.
Listen.
Was there a chair in that corner during the last lesson? Was there a chair in that corner during the last lesson? No, there
No,
wasn't
there
a
wasn't
chair
there
in that corner
in that
during the
corner
last lesson.
during.
Very good. Was there any chairs on the table last lesson? Was there any chairs on the table last lesson? No, there
No, there
weren't
was
any
no
chairs on the
chair
table
on the
last
table.
lesson. Very good. Okay, what's the opposite of the verb to live? Oh, no, repeat. Die.
Die.
President.
President.
Very good. Okay, listen. Die is a verb. The opposite of the verb to live is to die. For example, President Kennedy died in 1963. Let's practice. What's the opposite of the verb to live? What's the opposite of the verb to live? The opposite
The
of the
opposite of
verb to live.
verb today is die.
Very good. Do most people die before they're 100 years old? Oh, do most people die before they're 100 years old? Yes, most people
Yes,
die
most people
before
die
they're a
before
100 years
they
old.
are 100 years old.
When did President Kennedy die? When did President Kennedy die? President
The
Kennedy
president
died in
candidate,
1963.
the president candidate died in 1993.
1963.
Oh, 1963.
Very good. Very way older. Okay, next repeat. Strong,
Strong,
weak,
weak,
physical,
Physical.
Very good. Okay, listen. Strong and weak are both adjectives. For example, whiskey is a strong drink. People in the UK speak English with a strong British accent, while people in India speak a strong Indian accent. Physical, the word physical is an adjective. For example, Mr. Brown is strong, but Jack Brown is weak. Men are physically stronger than boys, so boys are weak relatively to men. Let's practice. Is whiskey a weak drink? Is whiskey a weak drink? No,
No,
whiskey
whiskey
isn't
isn't a
a
weak
weak drink.
drink.
It's a strong drink.
It's a strong drink.
Where are young boys generally physically stronger than men? Are young boys generally physically stronger than men? No,
No,
young
young
boys
boys
aren't
are
generally
physically
physically stronger aren't
stronger than
than men.
the
One more.
what man?
No, young boys aren't
Young boys
generally
aren't
physically
generally
stronger than
stronger
men.
than men.
They're generally physically
They're
weaker
generally
than men.
physically stronger than the man.
Very good. Do you speak English with a strong French accent? Do you speak English with a strong French accent? No, I don't
No, I
speak
don't
English
speak English
with a
with a
strong
strong.
French accent. I speak it with a
I speak
Japanese
in
accent.
Japanese accent.
Yeah, but not strong. Very good. Okay, next repeat. Soldier,
Soldier,
army,
army,
make money,
make money,
uniform.
uniform.
Very good. Okay, listen. Soldier and army are both nouns. A soldier is a person who fights in a war. An army has many soldiers in it. So if you see one person, he's a soldier. If they're like a group, they're an army. Okay. For example, I think China has the largest army in the world today. To make money means to obtain money. For example, a soldier gets a lot of money these days. Or we can say a soldier makes a lot of money these days. Uniform means same set of clothes. For example, some school children wear the same clothes they wear uniforms. Okay, let's practice. Does a soldier make a lot of money these days? Does a soldier make a lot of money these days? Yes or no?
Yes,
A
they make a
soldier,
lot of money.
a
A
soldier
soldier
makes a lot of
makes
money these days.
a lot of money these days.
Which country do you think has the largest army in the world today? Which country do you think has the largest army in the world today? I think
I think America has the biggest army
largest
these days.
army
Largest
in
army
the
in the
world
world
today. Very
today.
good. What do we call the clothes that a soldier wear? What do we call the clothes that a soldier wear? We call the
We
clothes
call
that
the
a soldier
clothes
wear
wear
a
is
uniform.
uniform. A uniform.
Very good. Do most children wear uniforms at school in your country? Do most children wear uniforms at school in your country? Yes or no?
No,
Most children,
children don't.
most
Most
children
children
don't wear
wear
uniforms
uniform
at
in my
school in my
country.
country.
In my country.
Very good. Next repeat. Build.
Field?
Build.
Oh, sorry, build.
Very good. Build is a verb. It means to make something with stones, woods, etc. For example, we make a house, or we can say we build a house. Let's practice. Is it cheap to build a large house in the country? Is it cheap to build a large house in the country? No, it
No, it
isn't cheap
isn't cheap
to build
to
a
build
large house
a large
in
house
the
in my
country.
country.
It's expensive.
It's expensive.
Very good. Next, repeat. Fill.
Fill.
Fill. Very good.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay. Fill is a verb. Fill means to put something into something empty. For example, when we eat, we put food into our stomachs. Or we can say we fill our stomachs with food. If we want to drink water, we put water into our glass. Or we fill our glass with water. Let's practice. Do you fill your stomach completely when you eat? Do you fill your stomach completely when you eat? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I feel
feel
my stomach.
completely
I
when I eat.
I feel my stomach
Completely when
completely
I eat.
when I
Very good. Next, repeat contain.
contain.
Very good. Okay, listen. Contain is a verb. It means to have. For example, this book has 100 pages. Or we can say this book contains about 100 pages. Okay, let's practice. About how many pages does this book contain? About how many pages does this book contain? That book
That
contains
book
about.
contains about 100 pages.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to reading.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, reading is at stage 3, paragraph page 161, 161, and the last head word was near. Okay, please start at head word nearer than, further than, farther than.
Near.
161, nearer than.
Okay. Near than, farther than, farther than. Is France farther from England than China? No, France isn't farther from England than China. It's nearest to England than China. Oh, sorry, it's nearer England than China.
Very good.
The nearest, the farthest,
One more. The nearest, the
the
furthest.
near, the farthest.
So you pronounce this like the fur of an animal, fur, furthest,
Oh, I see. The farthest,
and then this one is like
farthest,
far, farthest.
farthest. I
Very
see.
good, but almost the same. Okay.
Of these three countries, France, Greece, and Japan, which is the nearest to England? Of those three countries, France, Greece, and Japan, France is the nearest to England. And which of with those three countries is the furthest from the
One more.
England?
Furthest.
Furthest,
No, not furthest. Furthest.
furthest,
Very good. Furthest.
furthest from England. Of those three countries, Japan is the furthest from England.
Very good.
At the beginning of, at the end of. What do I say to you at the beginning of the lesson? You say good morning
To me.
after to you at the beginning of the lesson. Do I say to you at the end?
One more.
What
What?
do I say? Sorry, my brain is sugar.
No, no.
What, what do I say to you at the end of the lesson? You
You
say
see,
goodbye
to me.
to uh, to me at the end of the lesson. Does January come at the end of the year? No, January doesn't come at the end of the year. It comes at the beginning of the year. Does Saturday come at the beginning of the week? No, Saturday doesn't come at the beginning of the week. It comes at the end of the week. Shine. Is the sun shining at the moment? Yes, the sun is shining at the moment. Does the does the shine
Does the sunshine?
does the sun shine during the night? No, the sun doesn't shine during the night. Can we see well during the night if the moon isn't shining? No, we can't see well during the night if the moon isn't shining. We see badly. Early, late. Do you go to bed early? No, I don't go to bed early. I go to bed late. Do you get up late? Yes, I get up late. Earlier than, later than. Do students generally come into the classroom later than the teacher? No, the students don't generally come into the classroom later than the teacher. They generally come into the classroom earlier than he does. The earliest, the latest. Who gets up the earliest in your family? My mother gets up in the earliest in my family. Who gets up in the latest? Who gets up the latest in your family? My father gets up at
It's
the
up the
latest in
latest.
my family. Light, dark. Is it light during the night? No, it isn't light during the night. It's dark during the night. Is it dark in here now? No, it isn't dark in here now. It's light. Can you see in the dark? No, I can't see in the dark.
Okay, very good. Okay, so we stop there for today, but very good reading, very good practice, and thank you very much. See you again.